Yes, people, what's going on? How you doing? Welcome back to Football Therapy with me, your host, Jan. My glasses are dirty, but I hope you're well. I really do hope that. And Chelsea are playing another game of football. That's right. We have to endure more Chelsea happening to us, and hopefully, maybe, just maybe, this time around, things can go well and we can maybe win a game. We're playing Brighton at home in Stamford Bridge. Brighton have just won away in Europe with a João Pedro goal. His 9th goal of the season, by the way. Scoring a penalty to see them qualify top of their respective group. So congratulations to you little muggy little seagulls. And yes, let's see if I got this. Graham Potter, Carl McCauley, Bruno Saltor, in fact all the Brighton coaching staff, including Ben Roberts, Levi Colwill, Mark Cucurella, Robert Sanchez, Moises Caicedo derby is going to happen. Both teams have got loads of players out. Pochettino has spoken in his pre-match conference. I've built a lineup and we're going to talk about the game today. Strap yourselves in. Thanks for joining me. Consider dropping a like if you want to support the content. And you are welcome to subscribe if you want to do so. If you choose to do so. Yeah. Alright, Poch has spoken in his pre-match presser. He spoke about being tough on the players, both on and off the pitch, after Chelsea's pretty embarrassing 4-1 defeat to Newcastle. Where Newcastle weren't that great. Didn't need to be. And they slapped us up. And Chelsea are, in Pochettino's words, we are our own worst enemy. He says, look, you can talk about Tottenham, Man City, Newcastle. Our problem is us. And you know what? I tend to agree. That is our problem. We are our own worst enemies. We got loads of players out. So does Brighton. Brighton have like double figures for injuries. They can still put a good team out. I'm going to show you the team they played in the last game they played. They got an away win against Forest, 3-2. Quite a ding-dong, actually. So yeah, let's start off and we just take a look at that quickly for context. Here they are, the 4-2-3-1 of Roberto De Zerbi. Tariq Lamptey, I don't know if he's fit. I'm not sure he's fit to play. I think he's injured. Lewis Dunk has got a straight red card, but I think he's a bit of a Chelsea hero because he called Anthony Taylor a bald "see you next Tuesday," which you'd have to just agree is great fun. So, thank you for doing that, Dunk. You're like, you know what, let's do this for Chelsea and let's give them a better chance of winning by getting me suspended for that game as well. I don't know if Matoma and Fati are available. Of course, they played in. They've just had that win in midweek, but they've got a good team available. Gross, Veltman, Billy Gilmore. I mean, there's potential. Even if Lamptey's not available, Billy Gilmore, he doesn't score goals. I don't want to manifest it, but you know what could happen at Stamford Bridge, don't you? That's all we'll say on that for the moment. Right, I'll show you my lineup in just a moment, but it's tough because we've got loads of absentees as well. So of course, Reece James will serve 1 match ban for 2 yellow cards, making it a red 1 match ban. A straight red, I believe, is 3 matches ban. I think it has to be dangerous though. So he'll be out for this game. Mark Cucurella is also banned for accumulation, and apparently Malo Gusto is out. So we are really, hamstrung in terms of not available players in the backline. In terms of forward players, I don't think Lavia is going to be available from what Pochettino says. And in terms of Nkunku, he needs to be assessed tomorrow before they decide whether he's in the squad or not. Which to me says he absolutely won't start, but whether he'll be named in the squad tomorrow or not. I don't know why. I guess he just doesn't want to give anything away because Nkunku's such a unique attacking player for this Chelsea team in terms of his profile. If he's available, it gives the opposition team, De Zerbi in this instance, time to, sort of change their game plan accordingly for a potential Nkunku. Although I don't know how much time they've had because they played literally yesterday and they've got to travel to Stamford Bridge for this game. Let me show you my lineup and we'll talk from there. Here we go. 4-3-3. Rob Sanchez, of course, will stay in goal. Hopefully he doesn't get overwhelmed by Brighton opposition and the narrative. But we played them this season already, of course, beating them 1-0. 1-0 was it? Or 2-1? In the cup, we knocked them out. Of course, Nico Jackson scored the winner. I have a feeling it was 1-0, but I'm not entirely sure. Now, if Nizar Kinsella is correct, and Gusto was out as well, this is the back four we simply have to play. Levi Colwill as a left back. Now, Badiashile played awful against Newcastle, but then so did Silva. Both of them are going to sort their act out. Of course, this time it will be Disasi and not Reece James playing right back, and this is very much in vogue 2023 Pep Guardiola, a back four of centre backs. Although Guardiola plays a back three, doesn't he? So what Guardiola would actually do, let's just say Badiashile. That would be John Stones. Badiashile moves into midfield and makes a 3-2, 4-1, isn't it? Isn't it 3-2-4-1? Something like that, yeah. So that's this is how Pep Guardiola plays football. He plays with a front five, basically, and a double pivot. But usually that double pivot is like Rodri and Bernardo Silva. Bernardo Silva is like your freaking double pivot player. So it's like a ridiculous way of playing football, but that is Guardiola for you. Anyway, we're not going there. This is what Chelsea will do. Caicedo will have to come back in surely and be ready to go, and you'd fancy he would be ready to go, which would mean we will play the same midfield three. Lavia is not ready. Of course, we spoke about Lavia yesterday. Been speaking about him a lot. He's quite in vogue at the moment. That this midfield needs to work better again. I think Caicedo coming straight back in for the start should make a big difference. I hope he does. And then, of course, Palmer's absolutely starting. No one's taking away from the starting lineup. Jackson was awful last time out. You could make a shout for Breuer to start, to be honest. I don't know what his fitness is like, but I think because Jackson scored that winner against Brighton already this season, he starts. And Sterling's arguably, our best attacker in terms of consistency this season. Of course, he started before Palmer started. He got that free kick out. I mean, it's very close, but you don't drop Sterling. You could make an argument in terms of thinking about Old Trafford, which is a game that's coming quite soon as well against Manchester United, but I don't think you start Mudryk in this game. I think you start this front three. Of course, if things aren't going well, you probably do bring on Nkunku for his debut this season, his debut for Chelsea. Now, where do you play him? I think you play him down the middle. I think you say to Palmer and Sterling, you can play narrow here, and they can really press in the 18-yard box, and then you can actually play a diamond. You can play 4-1-2-1-2 before you FIFA and EA24 players out there, and Nkunku can play in that half space in the number 10, running in behind, hopefully 1-2ing with Sterling, getting through and finishing. And we want to see that Nkunku Crystal signature celebration with a blue balloon. That is the real question, ladies and gentlemen. Is he going to have the balloon in his pocket ready in case he scores? Of course, another way we could see this happening is just like this. Nkunku playing on the left wing, which he can play as well. Which, realistically, in this preferred formation of Pochettino, it's going to be him up front or him on the left. We could see a sort of diamond midfield. I'm not sure it's really gonna happen. Also, as well, we can see possibly a 4-2-3-1. Now, to do that, this again, I'm really unsure about the 4-2-3-1 so far this season, at least with Caicedo and Fernandes. I know Ugochukwu didn't play well last time out, but he is a CDM. Maybe next to Caicedo he could play well, but that midfield there should offer defensive security as two CDMs, which would allow you to play that 4-2, those front four attackers. Of course, I know he's not available for this game, but this is what we spoke about yesterday. This is another possibility. I think it would actually go slightly like this. So it would be, like that. it'll be a kind of right side, overloads on the right-hand side, because Nkunku likes to play on that channel there. I think Lavia will be the dribbling, take the ball. I don't think he'll sit as deep as Caicedo, but he likes to pick the ball up, turn and release it, progress and release it. He's not going to get you goals and assists, but he's going to get you functionality through that midfield. So that's really interesting, of course, but it's by the by, isn't it? So he's not available. In fact, this is probably enough of this. It will be the 4-3-3 that we expect. We need to win, don't we? Well, we're 12 points off top 4. I don't know where we are in top 5. It does feel like top 5 will get you Champions League football this season. I can't see it not getting you that. So let's just quickly look at the table in terms of 5th place. 5th place is 26 points. Tottenham now. There is a strong chance we'll finish above Tottenham this season. We're 10 points off 5th. Woo-wee! Of course, we play Manchester United after Brighton. Both are ahead of us. If we sort our stuff out and say you get 6 points out of that, we'll be on 24 points. And so we'll be where Manchester United are now on points in 6th. Of course, they'll be 2 games ahead. So if we could beat those 2 teams above us, that would be massive. But then again, we were saying the same thing about Newcastle. Like, before that Newcastle game, Chelsea were up. Chelsea stocks were high. Of course, there was the manic Tottenham game, which we don't really like to read much into. And then there was the City game where we just played really well. And had we won that game, it wouldn't have been a travesty, which for the Man City treble holders is just a great sign of improvement for Chelsea. And it was just such a great game. Not perfect. It was chaos. And one thing that I do worry about Pochettino long term in terms of winning a league title with Chelsea is he embraces chaos. And managers who win consistently in the Premier League, I'm talking Jose Mourinho, I'm talking Pep Guardiola, possibly Mikel Arteta the way he plays as well, Antonio Conte for sure. None of these managers like chaos. Granted, Klopp sort of did, but the season they kind of won it, they were a little bit they were less heavy metal football than they have been, and that's the season they did win the Premier League. Generally, you want control. Pochettino embraces chaos, which brings so much risk, and you can't win a Premier League title on risk. So I do worry about that. But Brighton, can we beat Brighton? Well, we need to beat Brighton. And they are going to be exhausted after their Thursday night midweek game. They're coming to Stamford Bridge. But I don't know. I thought with the Champions League emotion of Newcastle, I really thought we were going to beat Newcastle. And we lost 4-1. Last time I bring it up, because next time we'll talk about the Brighton result. It's so poor. I just don't know about this Chelsea team. And because we're going to have we've conceded. The thing is, right? Conceding 8 goals in 2 games, regardless of the context, is so poor. And when we're going to play essentially the same back 4 minus, Cucurella and James, who would probably be preferred starters in this instance, against a team that can score goals in Brighton, I'm just so worried. Now, Caicedo coming back in should be big. Chelsea generally having, some time to reflect existentially on that result and just sort themselves out a little bit, because they behaved so poorly. I said there was proper children out there. If they get rid of that, and another massive bonus. I think probably the 2 biggest things for this game for me would be Caicedo starting and Pochettino being on the touchline. Now, I think that hasn't been spoken about enough. I think him not being available to just sort of his presence there, just this immature team, their behavior, I keep referring them to kids, but their behavior got away from themselves. Do you know what I mean? I feel like Daddy Poch being on the touchline is a really important key factor in this game. At Stamford Bridge, he can basically, when someone's doing something wrong, tell them. I think that is going to be huge. I'm going to predict we beat Tottenham. My brain is melting. We've already beat Tottenham, unfortunately. I'm going to predict we beat Brighton. I think it's going to be tough. I just look at our defence. I think it's got ding-dong material. Of course, Brighton won 3-2 last time out. So they'll probably ship goals, but I feel like we'll ship goals as well. I just do not trust our defence at all at the moment, even if it's going to be slightly better with Caicedo. I'm going to say a 3-2 win to Chelsea, a bit of a ding-dong, a game that will, because of Brighton's midweek, travelling and stuff, people will look at it and go, "Oh, I still don't know about Chelsea. They're at home. They only beat them by 1 goal. They let in 2. Brighton had to play midweek, and they've got all these injuries. Like, it will be a game that I reckon that probably no one really says we can't learn anything about Chelsea. But I don't really care. I just care about a win and getting players back. And should we just see Christopher Nkunku come off the bench in a Chelsea shirt, I think that'll be such a lift for us Chelsea fans that we just really, really need, So let me know what you guys think. Of course, I'll be covering all Chelsea news here every single day, as always, and I'll do a complete breakdown of our result against Brighton. So please do leave your thoughts in the comment section. Thank you for subscribing and liking it, subscribing to this channel and liking the video. I'm very, very grateful for your continued support. And take care of yourselves, and regardless of the result, I hope everyone has a great weekend. Peace.